to order. Megan Semio is missing with notice. Jenny?
I'm here.
Ann?
Here.
Charlie?
I am here.
And I'm Andy. I'm here. First item on the agenda is the approval of the April 7th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion?
I move. Approve.
I have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the library trustees. We have a request to reappoint Fran Newton as an alternate member to the library board of trustees. And I'll make a motion to appoint Fran Newton as the alternate library trustee.
I'll second that.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, AES Garden.
A number of years ago, the town gave the school permission to put a community garden on that strip of land that goes from the parking lot at the school down onto School Street. And it's all overgrown now that the garden project stopped a long time ago. What they're asking to do is to, bring it back into shape, not necessarily as a garden. I asked somebody to give me a call today and I did not get a return call, but they basically, I don't believe they're going to use it as as they did before, but they want to at least clean it up and trim it and make it look decent. They feel that it really detracts from the, appearance of the school and so forth. So they would like permission to do that.
Well, why do they need the permission? Is it not school
Town
property?
property. Town owns it.
Town, not the school?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. I pulled the card. It's that
Okay.
chunk right there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
I was talking to some people, and it'll come to me later, just a couple of weeks ago, that they wanted to reinvigorate that garden to somehow get the community garden going again.
Okay,
Where
great.
before it was very connected with the school as far as lessons and stuff, but, kind of like a Plymouth garden. So they may be coming back to you on that,
Sure.
because that discussion is
Yeah.
out there.
Yep.
There is a garden committee, right? They have one and they.
Well, there's a garden club, there's a garden that do the flowers and stuff, but this was a different group.
Okay.
But, it's like for people who don't have yards, who might want to have a garden and stuff, so their discussion is out there, so.
That didn't come, I wasn't given that information initially,
Okay.
what the specific use was, but I assumed it was something along those lines.
So if I hear because the people talking about it, that again, they should go see you if they want to do that, or what should I tell them?
I don't know.
They should
We
see the
okay the
town
schools?
manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, go see you.
Is this connected through the school, or is the school
Right.
doing it in
Well, the town
conjunction
owns-
with somebody?
The town owns it, so you're in charge.
Yeah.
Okay, now how you deal it
This
out, how you deal it out,
And next week.
that's all right with us.
Okay, so if I hear that again, that's what I'll tell them to do. Okay,
Okay.
and you'll go.
Yeah.
I don't know. But if the school wanted to run, to do it, to reconfigure that, if they're part of that too, you're all set with that going?
You, whatever you think makes sense,
Okay. Skateboard park, no.
Oh, that's got hills now, that would be exciting.
Sure would.
Yeah.
Put a wall at the end to stop.
Next item on the agenda is intent to excavate notice on North Ashland Road, and I'm going to recuse myself from this.
Because you live there?
No, because I've worked for the gentleman.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the notice.
So who's doing this?
I believe it's Hill. No, I'm sorry, Don Matula.
Oh, okay. Good.
Nothing has been moved. It says it on here. Something.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, and
Don't know if that's-
what is the scope of this, do we know?
It should be on there. What he's removing. It's to remove some fill from a pit that he already owns.
So he just
Yeah.
removing fill?
Gravel, sand.
Gravel, sand.
250
Is he
gravel,
creating a gravel pit?
450 sand.
I think it's existing.
It's existing and he has to renew his permit every year.
Yep.
Is that what this
So
is?
this is just renewing the permit.
So it's already there, and it's on North Ashland Road?
So this is what, like a quarry, or where he mines the
quarry.
hillside? Where does this stuff come from?
It's a farmer's pit.
Yeah.
Okay.
100 plus acres.
Can you see it from the road?
I don't think so.
Do the neighbors complain?
I haven't heard
We
anything.
haven't heard it.
Well, he's been doing this historically.
Yes.
1995 was
I
the
mean-
first,
Okay.
or on there it says it was the first. I'll make a motion to accept it.
I can second that.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further talk, comments?
No? Other than, next year, can we get this beforehand so I can at least go out and look at this stuff before I sign? Next year. Just not to hold it
All
up.
those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And one abstain.
Yep.
Okay. So, you want me to sign it, or?
Sure.
Does it matter what order?
No?
Okay. Date is what?
These are all the same thing. Yeah, 232s.
Yeah.
That's for something different, though, not this, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just something different.
Perfect.
Who gets this? Town manager?
Next item on the agenda is signing the MS 232. It's the report of appropriations actually voted. It gets reported to the state what we voted. Quite lengthy, 5 pages, 6 pages. I'll make a motion that we approve the appropriations actually voted, the MS 232.
I can second that.
So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We got 3 copies, folks. Just check on that one.
So you gotta write first,
Yep.
then sign after.
Is there a reason the stuff didn't come out in the packet?
I put packets in,
No, I haven't.
Yeah, this
But
stuff,
that was
this
not in
stuff
the
never
packet.
comes out.
No.
So we don't get to see it beforehand?
No. I've never seen it beforehand. That may change.
Yeah, I would like to see stuff before I get here if I'm being asked to sign, so I can have time to read it. It helps me
That's gotta
remember,
come down here.
it helps me remember what I signed, you know.
You started that one.
Yep, I started it.
Next item on the agenda, amendment to the ARPA grant. And I will read you the motion. The motion is to submit an amendment request to extend a certain American Rescue Plan Act Fund grant agreement with the New Hampshire DES to fund a wastewater improvement project as approved by the governor and council on September 21st of 2022, and to authorize Steve Heath to sign all required documents. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion to approve and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
thank you.
Okay, we have the campground. The survey first is up. Go ahead.
I received notification that the survey had been completed. Roy Saborn called, and Tony had completed the work on site. And what he had, all the figures and everything, what we need to do is get someone to draw the design. And he made, Mr. Saborn made a recommendation that we use a gentleman by the name of Kevin French. I'm not familiar with him, but he
He's
was
another
recommended.
licensed surveyor.
Yeah, and Mr. Saborn delivered the, what had been completed of the plan and a thumb drive with all the data on it. So it's ready to
So
go.
we just need to draw it. Is that where we
It
are?
needs to be drawn,
Needs
yeah,
to be drawn.
so, okay.
So I make a motion to go with, what was it, Frank?
No,
Kevin
Kevin
French.
French.
Kevin French?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
That's right.
So I have a motion to send the work to Kevin French for the actual drawing. And a second. Any further discussion?
I have a question. How much will that cost?
We're gonna have to get the bids.
So if you
We're gonna have
approve
to
it
ask him for
here,
a price.
but if you approve it here, does that mean that then he can go forward whatever the cost is?
Good question.
The town owns the land, the town
Yeah,
can
the town owns
delineate
the
it
land.
however they want, like,
Yeah. So I'm gonna amend the motion. I'm gonna amend the motion to approach Kevin French to get a cost for this project.
So when we had money put aside to have this done from
Yeah.
the capital, between 65 and 7, Tony said it was gonna be.
Yeah, I have no idea what we've expended.
We paid 2,500 for up front. I'm assuming we did not send anything else because he was gonna bill us when he was done.
Right, right.
So,
I think we should get a price first.
Well, I think it raises another question, will the estate build the balance and should then, if the estate bills us the balance, which I think they're entitled to, but with the drawing, it still shouldn't exceed what we
Yeah.
expected to pay. I mean, that's.
right, they should get, so we should be gonna pay them 4,500, whatever for the drawing and the rest to Tony's estate, I would assume.
Yeah, that's why we get a price for it
Yeah,
first.
just to verify that that's the deal.
Yeah,
Do we have a number for
I don't, I can find out.
Kevin Frank? Okay.
French.
French? Why am I thinking Frank?
Yeah, well, Steve, you can get involved in that and kind of work out the numbers with everybody.
I did just get a quote from Mr. French, or I can find others who performed similar work and get several quotes and bring it back to you.
yeah.
Not that simple.
Okay.
Again, is the estate going to bill us the balance of the agreement that we had?
Well, we still need the,
Right, because we should
we still
pay
need the
them
estimate, what it's gonna cost us going forward.
minus
Right,
the,
but those
say
two
it's
numbers-
2,000.
Yes,
Right,
Then Tony's estate should get the remaining,
right, but 2,000 less than what was agreed to. So that
Correct.
we're going to spend the same amount of money or.
yes, so
or
7,000
certainly
will
no
go
more.
out total.
Okay, yeah, Steve, you got that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you should
Yeah, but
coordinate this.
I would, come back to the board with the quotes, so you can look at them and make a decision on who's going to do it. He was just a recommendation by Mr. Saborn.
So this is part
Who
of the
is-
original $7,000 quote, and just because unfortunately Tony's no longer with us, they have to hire somebody else to do it.
yes.
So we're just making sure that it stays within those parameters of what's already been approved.
Correct.
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
that's reasonable. They should be paid whatever they
So
work.
who is in, you have the name of the person who's in charge of Tony's estate as far as this part?
No, Roy Saburn is
The
closing
business
out
part?
the business
He's
part.
closing out the business for Tony.
So that's who would probably
I'll talk with
get
Mr.
the-
Saborn.
Yeah,
remaining difference.
Sanborn or Saborn?
Saborn, S-A-B-O-U-R-N.
he's actually a retired surveyor.
Okay.
So I have a motion to reach out and get prices to finish the work. Do I have a second?
I can second that.
So I have a motion and a second to reach out and get,
Okay.
go ahead.
Should we, I mean, we don't want to keep backing this up because May 1st is like in a week. Can we, if Steve talks to Kevin French and can get it all, just instead of having to come back here for us in 2 weeks, give him the okay to do what he needs to do, just keeping it under the 7,000, instead of having them keep coming back and forth.
We're gonna be a while before we see what the estate is gonna send for a bill.
What is your concern, Anne Marie? What are you worried about?
It's all flagged, I mean,
They flagged it, there's
Yeah.
placements, you're not allowing anybody to do any structures, like, it is what it is. They're just gonna have their campers where their campers are, and nobody's gonna build any sheds or build any outhouses, like, what is your concern?
My concern is I said this was gonna be done and I want it done.
Well, and that, I appreciate that.
Can we're discussing between us, correct?
yeah.
Thank you. I wanna make sure that the things get done that were supposed to be done for the campground, and I just feel like if we can get them done and have it all legalized and everything without having to come back. Maybe it's gonna take longer, but if we can get it to be done, can we give him the permission to do it?
Yeah, I would say also that probably, this conversation is it's a conversation that says, look, your total billing that was approved, was it 6,500 or 7,000?
It was between 65 and 7 was the estimate, so we okayed for 7.
Okay, so, between those parties, Steve, that you would just reach an agreement that says it won't be over 7,000, and they'll decide how much for the drawing and how much, goes to the estate, and your approval gets it done.
Right, because I'm assuming the estate's just gonna go by, okay, Tony agreed to this much, this is the part he didn't get done.
Yeah.
This is the person that can do that part, and this is what they're gonna charge, so I'm assuming they're gonna be fine with saying, okay, we'll take the other $3,000, whatever it is,
Right, just, the town manager will just facilitate that,
instead of,
and then the paperwork,
I just wanna cut out
the
some
billing and the
steps,
paperwork to
since
follow,
this
just
is what
have
is
the
okay.
agreement in place.
What I will do though is communicate with you folks about what I get on the estimates.
Well, wait a minute, if they're hiring somebody to finish Tony's work, that's on, I mean, from my point of view, looking at this, you've got a contract with Tony,
Right,
so the family or the state, whatever, is hiring somebody, with our approval that we like this person to finish out the project.
it's their subcontract.
It's they're subcontracting, and so if it doesn't cost us any more and we approve of the person they pick, just let them do it.
right, instead of coming back.
You know what I mean?
No, I'm gonna communicate, like, I can send out emails to you what I've got, and if people have concerns, they could get back to me quickly.
Right,
I
but I'm,
bet you're not gonna get a bill anymore, because the hard part's putting it all on a map.
Yep.
I bet he billed you for what he did.
Yeah, he did all the groundwork.
That's easy, it's
well, we
measuring,
gave
he
him,
did it.
before he started,
But he billed you, right?
we gave it to him before he started,
The
before he
deposit.
did.
I bet you the hard part is the map, it's.
Probably.
Drawing, you have to draw it,
Okay, so where are we? We're gonna give the town manager permission to get this rolling.
That's what I would like to do, just because, I mean, if they're saying he's gonna do whatever needs to be done, then they know what we signed for a contract with Tony, so,
And the subcontractor, if it's a subcontractor, I don't know whether we wind up paying them directly, but there ought to be a time commitment on him completing the work also.
right.
And what happens if the subcontractor says, oh, I can't do it for that?
Find another subcontractor, I mean, it's a matter of taking the data and drawing the picture, right? I mean, the negotiation could fail, I don't think
But
it
would
will.
that then come back to another meeting and all that, or?
Hope the town manager could just sort all that out. I mean, if the town manager feels that they're not negotiating in good faith, or, they want extra money, et cetera, then, he'll discuss it with somebody else.
Okay.
Right, I mean, that's, I don't think that's something that'll be sitting at the board here a lot. It should be sitting
Okay,
in the
good.
town manager's office.
I mean, I feel like if they brought that name to us, they're working with him for whatever projects he has
Yes.
opened.
I don't expect there'll be an issue, especially because there's a lot of money outstanding yet, and they can certainly work that out.
And we're probably not the only project he's
Probably
got
not.
partially finished.
No, there's work going to several people.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Okay, next item on the agenda, the LP tanks at the bathhouse.
I've communicated with the Director of Public Works, and what's your thought on it right now, as far as, we had mentioned either Jersey barrier or bollards?
Yeah, I guess it just depends how you want it to look. If I was to put a Jersey barrier next to them, it won't narrow the road up, but I guess if a camper's, well, you guys bring a camper in there, if I put a Jersey barrier next to that propane tank on the bathhouse, is there any tail swing that you might be, versus
That's-
bollards?
You're coming in straight.
Yeah, so you're good. So I guess
You go
it's,
straight up the hill, or
do you wanna look at a Jersey barrier or some of those yellow or white? You can paint them whatever color you want, but,
Don't
bollards.
paint them yellow, the neighbors will get really mad.
Yeah. So we either put 2 of those in or 1 6-foot Jersey barrier.
What makes it okay with You guys, because you were the ones that brought it to me, that it
That
needed
would
to
be-
be.
I would say all of it.
Yeah, I mean, Steve's got a price for each, so.
I have no idea, I don't know anything about it.
They wanted
No,
to-
but you,
Bollard
A
installation,
column or a barrier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My preference would be to move the tanks off to the side like Steve and I had originally talked about, so that that way they're out of the way and there's no issue of somebody coming down and, because if you're coming down around and you don't, you know, if, you know, not that there's many people in there during the snow, but if you hit some snow or ice or something,
Well, the snow,
you don't
Right.
make that, you don't make that corner, you're going into the
the snow.
the tanks, yeah, true. And the bollards, the snowmobile's gonna go right between the bollards, so I guess my first thought was move the tanks around to that end of the building.
parking lot end?
No, the opposite end, where they're completely, I don't know how feasible that is for your
The street,
propane lines.
you're going to the street, to Levitt Hill side.
No, on the end
Where you
of the
walk
building.
through to go to the beach.
There would be no walk-through anymore.
But how would
Well, I
you,
can make a
The
walk.
parking lot side.
oh,
No, the uphill side.
Yeah,
The
the
uphill
side, yeah.
Oh,
so if you're at the bathhouse and you have the little path that goes
To the
to, from the campground to the beach, you're saying that side,
That's what when Steve Heath and I originally looked at it, was our initial thought, because
well, that's.
that keeps it completely away from any vehicular traffic.
yeah,
So-
that makes
Okay,
sense.
so why did we change, Steve?
Yeah.
I don't know. We were looking
That
at
makes sense,
prices.
'cause you don't have any
There was a cost associated with moving the tanks.
Folks, folks.
Separate meeting.
Sorry.
So Craig,
Yeah,
you know how you're doing the work behind and around?
yeah. we can-
How is that going to affect
Yeah.
putting those there?
Well, we'll get it, do we own the tanks?
No,
No.
it's
No,
Eastern
the
Propane,
rentals.
and I've called them,
Yeah, I mean, we
and they're
can,
gonna make us pay to move everything.
well, you
all
gotta
the
pay,
stuff
well, Steve's
underneath.
got prices, so.
Right, I know.
Figure out which is cheapest of how you wanna do it, but I can make a pad when I have to dig there anyway.
Right, because you're gonna put the stuff
Yep.
so it will go around.
Let's put it this way, if the tanks weren't there, I could dig all the way down and paint the whole foundation, not just that corner.
Well, that's what we want,
So-
anyway. But,
It might be a good thing to
But
have
what
to
would
move
you-
it.
what would you put them on?
Pad.
I could put them, I'd just put some concrete pads or something, you know.
Okay,
They have, like I can go to Gilbert Block and get something, I might even have some, remember when we cut that concrete out of down at the sewer plant? I have some pads that probably
would be big enough.
I could just set there, you know.
All you
Okay.
need.
Yeah.
They're this thick, the concrete, so.
All you need.
It depends on if you wanna just have them moved, then I can paint the whole thing.
I wanna do what needs to be done, what's the right thing to do, the safety-wise thing.
Oh, well, that's definitely out of the way of everything, if you put them on the uphill side of Levitt Hill.
So what is the price did you get?
Price I was given, Craig got these numbers. For the bollards, they were $558 per bollard.
No, but,
And then for the Jersey Berry, it's $443.90.
Moving
but
the tanks.
didn't the, Eastern Propane call you and tell you
It's
that price?
$691, something like that, to move the tanks.
And
But
all
they
the
were
piping?
talking about moving them to the other side of the building, which
Not
was
just moving them
also going to add, require
Footage,
to
yes.
replumb it through the building.
So it'll be cheaper.
Yeah.
Going around to the back, probably.
I would think so.
Yeah, probably cheaper.
And it was only 600?
$690 something to do,
No brainer, do that.
Yeah.
So if you do that before I'll dig the front out, paint that foundation on the uphill side first.
Okay, so
I'll
five,
Bury that and then,
call them and have them take them and put them in the parking lot for now until you're done with,
well, they might charge you to do it twice, so.
but if they're gonna have to put stuff, like the piping, I'm assuming it's gonna go somewhere inside.
Yeah,
How
they'll
it-
penetrate through the concrete.
But where I'm having the floors and the walls and everything done, I wanna make sure that's done before, I don't want them to mess that up. So I'd kinda like to get that done as soon as
Yeah, I could do that work this week, make sure it's done.
So does that mean you wouldn't need a Jersey barrier?
No, we wouldn't need it.
So that saves that money.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, so I will call them and see when they can move it. Like, what do you think would be good for you?
I can, if they tell me they want it, I'll make sure I get it done before they come. Just tell me when they're coming.
Okay,
I'll make sure I get it done well in
Alright.
advance.
okay,
Because we can stop what we're doing up top and,
okay, I'll call them tomorrow.
yeah.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, crosswalk resurfacing. How'd you make out?
So I did hear back from them today. The state is going to pave curb to curb. I, I sent them an email and expressed my concern about it. So they said they'll do curb to curb and they're gonna paint the crosswalks. I talked to Shane about putting the street lights up and he'll do that. So
Okay.
we should be all set.
All right, next item on the agenda is North Ashland Road property, and we need to move that to non-public. Ambulance contract.
Why do you have to move everything in non-public? There's been a lot of that. What is that? What is the reason for that?
Anytime we talk about the sale of property, town property, we have to have it in non-public.
Okay, that's been happening a lot then. Go ahead. Sorry.
Ambulance contract.
You all have copies of the ambulance contract, and if you've had an opportunity to look at them, and at some point we need to get together, some point in the future we need to get together and discuss it and see where we go from there. If you have questions about the contract, then we can deal with those.
Number 6,
Pardon?
number 6 in the contract, is that date correct? Is it supposed to be?
July 1st is the, I believe is the date on.
There's a date, these
June
payments
30th.
collected will be returned to Ashland by June 30th, 2025.
Okay, June 30th, yeah. And this contract is good from July 1st to,
July 1st, 2025.
yes,
So,
So last year's will be coming back to us, last year's returns.
payments returned to us from the previous contract,
okay.
okay, the previous year.
Okay, previous year, that's not, okay.
Yep. Okay.
And you have a meeting, a quarterly meeting this
Coming up Thursday
Thursday.
of this week.
I have a question, not that in this, how does this work? And this just for, because the ambulance will bill the insurance companies forever, whoever has insurance for the ride. And you know how your insurance companies negotiate with all of the hospitals and stuff for a far reduced rate? Now they're charging $1,300. How does that work? Do you know? They're charging us $1,300.
That's what they're charging us. That's not necessarily what the billing would be for the ambulance
Billing might be
transport.
high.
Depends on.
Okay, okay. All right. And so the insurance that we might get back for those that are covered by insurance,
Mm-hmm.
it could be anything. It might not
Right,
be. It
that's
could be-
correct.
it's
Part
whatever it
part
is.
of the problems with this contract is we don't know, and we're not gonna know until the end of the year.
Right, we don't know,
So,
right.
I read through it, and now that we've lived with this for a year, I mean, I have a lot of concerns regarding the contract, and I don't think we can discuss it in open forum, because this is part of negotiation.
Okay.
So,
All right.
Okay. Anybody have any old business? Any selectmen items? Okay.
I've got something from Department of Public Works in regard to paving. Now, you stated that they're going curb to curb. Is that gonna change this price?
No, this is this is
Oh,
this year's
okay.
paving.
Oh, okay. And it's a road paving Mill, Elm, Church, Murray, and Glove Streets. And recommended motion was a motion to approve the road paving of Mill, Elm, Church, Murray, and Glove Streets by GMI for sum of $91,423.75. Funds would be taken from the CRF Road Improvement account with a 5% overage amount for unforeseen circumstances. Work would include a 1.5-inch overlay and cold planing of a vast majority of Mill Street as the road surface is badly degraded. All sidewalks will be removed by Public Works personnel reworked to 5 feet and repaved. He expects the work could be done by mid-May. I did talk with Finance today, and they encouraged us to push it back a little. So last year when we did this, the bill for it arrived in May, and
Yeah, we did it a lot earlier.
it's before the June tax, okay? And so if the timing could be,
Yeah, if you give me permission, I won't let them come until June if you want.
okay,
But they won't, they'll send a bill and we can settle it anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, is it a cash flow issue? Because, I mean, this
Yes,
is the.
that's exactly what it was.
Well, this would
The
be,
problem you're gonna have is if I wait too long, it will go up because I'm working off last year's asphalt mix that's in the tank. So that's probably why you're getting it so cheap.
it'd be nice to get it done this time of year. because-
Before
You
all the
guys want-
traffic.
Yeah, you know, in
But I
the, in
think
the road,
Andy, I mean, you know the tanks are full from last year, so
Yeah.
if I wait till July,
you know,
that might go up
and,
$10,000.
and that road is seriously deteriorated.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
if I just tell them, you got approval, but don't come and, like I'll use an excuse that I'm not ready yet.
Yeah,
I might not
even
be
if it's just a
available.
little bit, if you can push them.
No,
back.
we can make sure that you won't have to pay it till July. I'll make
Yeah,
sure of
that's the key, get a defer on the,
Yeah, we
on
need
the
to get
payout.
taxes in, yeah.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to approve the paving of, what are the streets, Mill Street?
Oh, boy. Mill, Elm, Church, Murray, and Glove.
I think I gave Steve a copy for
Yes, he
everybody. You wanna have it?
I got one.
You guys just wanna look through it.
So I'll make a motion to do the paving for $92,000.
We're gonna mill some of it.
I'll second that.
Grind it.
So I have a motion and a second to do the paving. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, any other items, Steve?
Boy, I had something here, a little disorganized. You said that's non-public.
Could I just bring up one question? So the campground, back to that, revenue to the town. There are still, I believe, I sent Anne Marie a message to update me, but I believe there's still 6 sites available.
I think there's 4 now, but.
Okay, whatever it is. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are asking people to leave at the end of the season. And that is, so basically $80,000 to $100,000 of revenue to the town that most of the people that came back this year that knew this was happening were hopeful that they would come to their senses and realize seasonal meant being able to leave your campground for the winter, even if it's at a charge, which everybody's fine with. I think that might be the difficulty, because Anne Marie had stated earlier that she had 27 people on the waiting list and wasn't concerned about 26 people leaving, because she had all these people waiting. Well, clearly now she's reaching out via Facebook to try to fill these spots, so clearly it's not as easy as that. I think the issue is, the town needs revenue. It needs revenue that doesn't impact the town. And I truly believe the campground, other than us who happen to live in the town, don't impact the town. And they only bring revenue to the town. They spend money and they do things. So I would really appreciate it if somewhere down the line, maybe not today, but if everybody could rethink the process, because I don't think she would have had a problem filling every site if she didn't have to tell them, oh, by the way, at the end of the year, you've got to drag your trailer out and you've got to store it and whatever. I think it would be a lot more beneficial for the town of Ashland if it became a seasonal site, like every other seasonal site, and they were able to leave their trailers. So I just think, whatever time frame it takes, that has to be a conversation, because quite frankly, if at the end of this year, they make everybody move out again, the 15 people that decided to come back, or 12 people, whatever it was, that decided to come back, We all came back in good faith, thinking that the town would come to their senses. If they do not, you'll lose everybody. So,
I suggest you explain that to our lawyers.
I don't care what the lawyers think because.
I suggest you explain that to our lawyers.
Well, then the
They're the ones
lawyers-
that made the suggestion.
No,
We
they
need
didn't.
to move
No,
on.
they didn't. No, well, you know what? So
We need to move on.
I have since heard from the lawyers, and they said that wasn't, the lawyer actually said, we asked the town what they recommended, and the town recommended this. That was her direct response, which I have in an email, and I'm happy to share with you. So, quite frankly.
We're moving on, ma'am.
Okay. Go ahead. So
Does
do what
anybody
I-
else on the board have anything?
Just a general question, Mr. Chairman. I know we're in the process of doing a electric rate study. Do we have any sense of where that stands, or what the completion we could expect? Only because we have the vote coming up, and
Yeah,
I think-
I don't have the answer to that question, Charlie. I know they're working on it. I do see emails on it, but I haven't got the sense for when it's gonna be done. I know they're shooting to get it done before the election.
okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Well,
for
you,
that information, who is doing this?
The former gentleman who did it, or the gentleman who formerly did it for Eversource is one of the people that's doing it. He did the rate studies for Eversource. And the other person, I'm told, is, what's the PCU? Somebody who used to work for them. PUC, sorry, PUC, Public Utilities Commission.
I myself am having a hard time with this time frame. I'll just tell you that I finally got the information I requested last Friday, and I can tell you what you need to do right now, but we'll leave it at that.
well, I would also announce, Mr. Chairman, that we're having an unscheduled kind of an emergency meeting of the Economic Development Committee on Wednesday. And this is the major topic, and we're kind of putting some numbers together ourselves with the help of the town office, who's been generating some important information for us. Because the timing here is important. A week from today is really the last time to publish in local papers, to get some, and we're hoping to get some clear information. I don't know if it'll be complete, but we're going to try to publish what we have. So I just want the board to be aware of that. And if, we would love to get the result of the rate study, because that would
Me
just
too.
kind of give us something to compare notes to. But I just, we want everybody to be aware that we will put some information out because the residents require it, and we'll give them what we have.
And Alan, who are you getting information from?
Information and numbers came from Town Hall.
Well, to go on with that, we've started putting some stuff. There was a thing that's coming out, it's just telling people of Ashland there was a vote and this is important and it's on electric. We didn't put anything about costs because, we don't know what they are, so we don't want to make
Exactly.
them up. And we want to be able to tell, because they're talking about it's going to be per kilowatt, so if you use 500 kilowatts, you're going to pay someone who uses 1,000 kilowatts, they'll pay, for the 1,000. But we don't know how much per kilowatt, and that's what residents have been asking.
Right.
It has been estimated that it's gonna be 0.5 cent per kilowatt hour.
But I guess we're looking for actual
And
figures that say.
That's consistent with actual figures that I will help present to the Economic
Yeah.
Development Committee.
You won't know the exact cost until you get your loan, your bond.
Right, but it's a
But it
half a
does-
cent or 5 cents,
It does- The preliminary numbers look like they're coming in at around 0.5 cent as the
Does that
add-on.
include the $2.2
Yes.
million dollars?
Yes,
So
Yes,
it's still only a 0.5%,
half a cent.
a 0.5% after we pay the $2.2 million we have to pay.
well, the point you're bringing up is very interesting, because it turns out that the rate increase is less if we get the bond than if we didn't get the bond, because then we have to front more of the money in order to make the repair.
Okay.
So that's
The
what,
town needs to be given that information in a very concise, direct way.
And-
We
and-
can't just be told something and not given the facts. That's brilliant, what you just said, and I would jump on board for that.
But it needs to be accurate, because if we say it's a half a cent and then it
Exactly.
comes back at a cent,
well, the town.
that's a problem.
The town, and through the town manager with his assistants, has been giving us information that we believe is accurate. And we have the advantage now of having 2 full months of billing, January and February.
Yeah.
We've got billing information, we've got cost information. So we're just taking that and kind of rationalizing it over the coming year. And I think we're able to pretty clearly project where we
So
stand.
you'll be able to comfortably stand there and say, it's still cheaper for us to keep Ashland Electric private than it is to sell out to Liberty or Eversource. You'll be able to comfortably say
Yeah, that part of it seems to be an absolute no-brainer. There is
Okay.
no scenario we've looked at where not having the substation is advantageous.
Okay.
Okay, no matter
Great.
what happens, people are gonna charge us more than we're charging ourselves.
Great. Thank you
Any
for your
further?
work.
Next item on the agenda, non-public session, RSA 91-A semicolon 3, A, C, and D. I have a motion to move into non-public.
I'll make a motion to go into non-public, according to what you said.
Why so many non-public? I've looked at so many towns and nobody does as many non-public sessions as the town of Ashland. Why?
Maybe they've got less problems than we do.
Well, I hope they do. I hope we soon do too, but it's
We're
just-
trying.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
and well,
I'll
just,
second that motion. Any further discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.